What has gone wrong for Liverpool this season is a question that many people are asking right now. Compared to last season, we are an utter shadow of our former selves. We have been terrible. Yes, we've got some wins here and there. We've been decent in some games, like Brighton recently, Newcastle, fantastic, Real Madrid, unbelievable. We've played some good football, but at the same time, this is an absolutely atrocious season for the standards of Liverpool Football Club. As it stands, Liverpool are 6th in the Premier League. Manchester United are above us, and Everton are only 5 points behind us. We are 2 points off of Brentford. It is absolutely awful. I have never seen a Liverpool team like it. We've had bad spells in the time that I've been watching Liverpool, which hasn't been long considering I'm young. The worst season I've probably watched was 22-23. Okay, 22-23 was Jurgen Klopp's season still. He was still the manager, but that was the worst season we ever had. Okay, because our midfield was absolutely piss poor. Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, tragic midfield. We needed reinforcements. And then the next season, we brought in reinforcements and we ended up finishing third in a title race. But this season, there's no explanation as to really why we've been so poor. There's factors, of course, but there's no reason that you can put on or an excuse that you can make as to why Liverpool have been so bad. We've brought in £450 million worth of signings. Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Milos Kerkez, Jeremy Frimpong, Mamardashvili, Freddie Woodman, don't really count. But, we've brought in so many footballers that are absolutely unbelievable at football, and we can't seem to bed it together into this team and get consistent wins. So we are going to look at every single reason as to why Liverpool have capitulated this season, what's gone wrong, and how can we possibly fix it going into the next season, because we can basically already write this season off. I don't think we're going to get Champions League football. We have literally only got, our last hope is Champions League. We need to win the Champions League. That is our last hope at trophy. We've also in the FA Cup still, and we've got Wolves in round of 16. So if we can win the FA Cup, happy days. Confirms Europa League football, but that's not what we're looking for. Liverpool Football Club needs to be getting Champions League football every season consistently. Now, the first reason I'm going to go into is something that people can't really understand, and it is the passing of Diogo Jota. Of course, it would have affected the players. It affected us as fans, but think of the players. If you've ever lost a relative, a loved one, somebody that you really care about in your life, you know it affects you, and it can change your entire life for the next year, maybe 2 years, 3 years. These lads, a lot of them, spent every day with Diogo Jota for years. For absolute years. He joined in 2020. Mohamed Salah has known the guy for 5 years. You could see after the Bournemouth game at home how deeply that affected him. And it's the same with all the players who have been there for a long period of time. Even people that know him for a year. For a year, they would see him every day at the training ground. They would see this guy more than their family. And to have that taken away from them, passing away, and they're going to a pitch, they're going to Anfield, where he once was, they're going to the AXA, where he once was, reminded of it every single day. There's probably not a day that some of them go by and they don't think about it. And it's not something that can really be fixed other than grief. You've got to go through grief. That's just how it works. That's how life works. Personally, I don't think that is really the reason as to what's going on in this football club and as to why we're not performing. It could be a factor, but yeah, we can't fix that. You can't change that. There's nothing that we can do about it. So I'm going to leave that one there. It's a sensitive topic. We're going to leave it there. The second thing we're going to go into could be the fact we have lost so many players in the summer. We sold a lot of players, lost players on free. That could be a bit of a reason as to why maybe we've fallen off. We haven't got the structure, the cohesion between the team. Things are changing. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp left 2 years ago now. Brand new season started. We bring in Arne Slot. Arne Slot fitted in straight away. But at the same time, maybe this is the second season syndrome of it, where things have changed too quickly now, and it's to the point where things are completely different. The players don't know what to do with themselves. Obviously, we lost Luis Diaz, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Darwin Núñez. He wasn't the best player for us, but it's a big factor. Coming off the bench, Darwin Núñez was a massive help towards Liverpool, especially in the title win last season. And the three I've named, Trent, Diaz, Núñez, very big players to this football club. Luis Diaz was a starter most weeks. It's swapped between him and Gakpo, but most of the time, Luis Diaz was number one choice, as he should have been. As we can see this season, Gakpo has been horrendous. But Diaz wanted to leave. We can't do much about that. He wanted to leave. People say, oh, it's a mistake. It's a mistake selling Luis Diaz. No, it wasn't a mistake selling Luis Diaz, because Luis Diaz wanted to leave. The summer before, he wanted to go to Manchester City. That came out after the summer transfer window. For me, that's disgusting, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. He wanted to leave. He was forcing to move out. Not to the point that maybe Alexander Isak was at Newcastle, but he made it pretty clear that he was unhappy at Liverpool, not willing to sign a new contract. He wanted to go to Barcelona, that's his dream club, but he settled for Bayern and he left. There was no stopping that. Same with Darwin Núñez. He wasn't happy. He wanted regular game time. We were going to bring in a striker. He wasn't going to get regular game time. So he moved on to Saudi for money. There was no stopping that really either. Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, something we couldn't have done anything about. We offered him a big contract. He fucked off to Real Madrid like a dick. Went on a free. So he can be left in the past. There's not much we can actually do about them free leaving. Three of the biggest players at the club, some of them. But we couldn't change anything. They wanted to leave. You can't really keep a player when he's unhappy. It just doesn't work like that. As we saw with Alexander Isak, he literally was refusing to play for Newcastle. Therefore, he got a move. That's probably what Diaz, Núñez, maybe even Trent would have done. Reason number 3. The Premier League this season has absolutely changed. Like, bigger than I could have imagined. See, season by season, things change. Things in football evolve. Things change. You know, in the early 2000s and 90s, it was a 4-4-2. Pep Guardiola came to the Premier League, and a lot of teams started playing 4-3-3. 4-3-3 is now a formation. 4-3-3 is now a formation used by literally almost every team in the Premier League. Now, long throws have come into the Premier League this season and literally taken it over. Crystal Palace, Brentford, Sunderland, Burnley, loads of teams have adopted a long throw and set pieces. Arsenal, they are literally top of the league because of how good they are at set pieces. They are the best set piece team in the league, and they are top of the league. That is something Liverpool struggle with. All season, we have struggled to score set pieces. We haven't scored that many. The only time we've scored many set pieces, which is corners and free kicks. Free kicks from Dominic Szoboszlai, just unbelievable, unstoppable. Set pieces, corner-wise, we've only really scored in the Champions League. We haven't scored many corners in the Premier League. And defending them, oh my God, we are horrendous at defending corners. We cannot do it. All season, that has been a struggle for us. Like I say, take Brentford, the game, away at the G-Tech. We literally got battered by Brentford because of their long throws and set pieces. That was what they were getting us with, and they outplayed us from it. And we just don't like it. We cannot do it. But whereas in the Champions League, teams that want to play football, we play them off the park a lot of the time. Because they're playing football, and we like to play against teams that play football. It opens them up, and they're not as low block. You know, they're not playing a low block like a lot of these teams are doing now. For me, you can't really pinpoint that as an excuse. You need to adapt to it as a team. The manager needs to sort that out. He needs to get in training, and that is the first thing he needs to sort out. From the first 5 games in the season, we learned that we can't play against a low block. And that we can't play against set pieces. So get them in training and literally work on that for the next week if you have to get it sorted out. And yeah, Manchester City, we've played twice. Team that actually wants to play football. The first time we got battered 3-0 at the Etihad. And at home, we had half an hour where we was good. The rest of the time, they dominated us and they deserved to win that game. They should have won 3-1. We got battered by them. So it's not just the low block teams. Teams that play football are outplaying us as well. Something I can't stand about this Liverpool team, and that I think we've lost from former seasons, from Jurgen Klopp, is our pressing, our intensity, going after the ball. If we lose that ball, bang, straight back at them, get into them, run at them, like fuck, literally. Just run at them. Just run at them. Just go, and you don't stop. This team now, it's like Arne Slot is trying to prepare us to play for a low block. I see this midfield, for example, this is the worst of it. The midfield doesn't press. They run through our midfield like it's no tomorrow. There was multiple times against Sunderland away, they just ran through that midfield because no one is pressing to stop them. They're just happy to just stand there and jockey. That's all we do. That's all we've been doing. The only person I've seen press properly is Dominic Szoboszlai. And that is because he is a fucking workhorse and he's a leader. I don't think he's been told to press, just like I don't think Ekitike, Gakpo, Salah has been told to press because they don't. They literally don't. And I think they've been told that. I think they've been told, do not work harder than you need to. Do not press. I can't stand that. Liverpool have always been a high-pressing team. We love to get at them. And when we attack with intensity. We attack with speed. We attack with aggression. We're not doing that. Side-to-side passing. Take your time with it. And as well, we get to 1-0 in a game of football. 1-0. We get to 1-0 up. And then Arne Slot, he starts bringing on midfielders and defenders for attackers at 1-0. If you are 1-0 up as a top 6 Premier League side, you should be going for more than 1 goal. You should be going to go 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 up. And then maybe you can think about bringing on changes that you don't really need to use for goal scoring wise. At 1-0, this team, we know, because of how structurally bad we are at the back, should not be holding out on a 1-goal lead, because we're bound to concede at some point. And it's happened so many times this season where we've had a 1-0 lead and we've then conceded. We've got 2 attackers left on the pitch because it took off Verts, Ekatike and Gakpo. And instead we've got 5 midfielders, so then we can't go ahead and win the game. It has happened so many times, and I think that is down to Arne Slot. And the 5th and final reason, I think it's the 5th reason, Arne Slot is the problem. That is what I truly believe. Yeah, we're on good form at the minute. I'll admit that. Brighton, fantastic, 3-0 win. Newcastle, 4-1 win. 1-0 win away at Sunderland, their first home loss of the season, was fantastic. But there's been so many cases this season where I can point the game down to the manager and the way he's set this team up, his tactics, his subs. It is absolutely capitulated us. He has taken the identity out of this football club. He doesn't get the crowd going. Anfield, I've been to Anfield a lot of times. Yes, I'm not from Liverpool, but I go to the games when I can afford it. I've been to a few games. This season, I haven't really been. I've been to one game, and that was at Wembley Community Shield. But previous seasons, 21-22, 22-23, and 23-24, the atmosphere was always unbelievable at Anfield. I went last season when Arne Slot was in charge. It was a bit deader. Second half, it was really good atmosphere. When you're at home and you're watching on the telly, compared to being in the ground, it's harder to tell if the atmosphere is good, but you can still get a sense of it. Every game this season, almost every game at Anfield, it's felt flat. It's felt pretty dead, unless it's a Champions League night or a Premier League late night game, because Anfield is always roaring for late night games. It just usually is like that. It's just how that's how it will always be, no matter what football we play. But a lot of games, we look silent, we look dead. It looks like we're deflated and we do not want to get behind this team. And I think that is down to the manager. Jurgen Klopp had a bit of personality about him. He grabbed the crowd by the scruff of the neck and made them erupt. He made them get behind the team and cheer them on. Arne Slot does not do that for me. Thank you for winning the league for us last season. Thank you very much. I used to get annoyed when people say, oh, well, he had Klopp's team, so, that's why he won the league. To a point, I sort of agree with that now. I don't think you can word it like that, because you still have to get the team playing football. But last season, I see a team that had intensity, identity, aggression. But this season, he has absolutely taken it out of us. He's brought in all the players that he wanted, changed the team completely, and I think he's implemented his style of football more now, because at the end of last season, he was also implementing his style, and we started losing games. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Brighton, a few games. Yeah, we were in IB for the last 5 games, but I still didn't see a Liverpool team that I liked, and I've seen that a lot this season. So for me, the way to get Liverpool back on track is to get rid of Arne Slot. Do I think that will happen? Sadly not. I don't think we will, because I don't think Liverpool are a team or a club that goes and sacks managers willy-nilly. But I think that is the right decision to make to get Liverpool back on track. Will it happen? No, I don't think so. The only way I see it happening is if we go out in the FA Cup to Wolves in the next round. Could happen, might not. It shouldn't happen, let's be honest. Or if we go out in the Champions League in the round of 16. If we go out in the round of 16, I think that gets rid of him. Champions League run is keeping him alive at the minute. If we win the Champions League, I'll be in 2 heads. I honestly will. Because you can't sack a manager after winning the Champions League. But he's boring me. I'll be honest, he's boring me. His football is boring me. This team, I used to be excited for every single Liverpool game that was on. Whether I was going to the match or I was watching on the telly, I used to literally be giddy. I used to get giddy before a Liverpool game. As soon as the 90 minutes was done on one game, I was straight on my phone looking for the next fixture, counting down the days to watch Liverpool. I don't know when we next play now. I don't know who we next play, because I'm not that excited anymore. I don't want to look at the league table because I'm not excited anymore. Even in our worst season that I have seen, in 22-23, I would still check all the time when Liverpool are playing and where we are in the table. I'm not too bothered at the minute. I'm really not, because I am not interested. I'll still watch every game and I'll still be passionate about it, but I haven't got that passion for it as much as I used to, which is never a good sign. Let me know what you lot think in the comments. Why is Liverpool gone wrong this season, and what do we need to do to fix it? For me, get Arne Slot out, bring in Xavi Alonso. I thank you all for watching. Okay, I've been gone for a while, I'll be honest. I haven't uploaded on the channel for a while, but as you can see, we've got a bit of a new setup, got a new light. So yeah, so I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Bye-bye.